Jetzt gehen wir rein bei Jxmy Highroller. 10 insane facts about the NBA that may just blow your mind. Abfahrt, Jungs, lehnt euch zurück, holt ihr was Kaltes zu trinken. Und wir gehen rein.
Not a whole lot of high-flying dunks. Actually, there were no dunks whatsoever. No three-pointers.
Die NBA in den 1950ern, okay. Damals, wo ich meine ersten Spiele gemacht habe.
Dribbling that looks like it belongs in a circus act. And some of the wildest shots you'll ever see in your life. And
Bro, the fuck? Was ist das für eine Shotform?
And some of the wildest shots you'll ever
Er macht einfach den Dirk One-Leg Fadeaway beim Freiwurf.
see in your life. And one of the early pioneers of this young NBA was a player named Joe Fulks. Now, Fulks was a bad man. One of the NBA's first superstars, was the first scoring leader in NBA history, and had even scored 63 points in a single game. An NBA record at the time, and one that stood for over a decade.
Und das ist wild, Digga, weil damals die Regeln waren komplett dein Jumper Real Life. Halt Schnauze, Thomas. Ich habe richtig an meinen Jumper gearbeitet, Junge. Nächstes Mal, wenn ich Basketball spielen gehe, mache ich wieder ein vernünftiges Video, Junge. Ohne Spaß, damals die Regeln, die waren komplett ass, Digga. Du durftest nur mit dem Ball von oben dribbeln. Haben wir im letzten Video angeguckt, können wir eigentlich mal zusammen gucken. Da darfst du nur den Ball von oben dribbeln. Du darfst nicht hopsteppen mit dem Ball. Du darfst, sobald der Ball irgendwie fummelt, also dass du den Ball nicht mehr unter Kontrolle hast und den Ball dann berührt, hast du sofort einen Travel. Bruder, ohne Spaß, die Basketballregeln waren damals wild.
One thing was for certain, it was that Joe was gonna shoot his shot, and no one was gonna stop him. Even if they should have. Because Joe's single-game scoring record is not the only NBA record
Aber smoother Jumpshot, ey.
Even if they should have. Because Joe's single-game scoring record is not the only NBA record that he broke throughout his 8
Hast du noch gespielt? Sag noch meine ersten Spiele,
career. In a regular season game in 1948, Joe Fulks broke the NBA record for the most missed shots in a single game. A record that still stands to this day, and a record that will probably never be broken. See, here is some all-time NBA greats and the most missed shots they've ever accumulated in one game.
Ich glaube, die most missed shots in der ganzen NBA hat Kobe.
Only a few greats have missed less than 20.
Kalter Hund weiß Bescheid, deswegen kennst du die Regeln so gut. Ja.
20 shots in a single game. Steph had a game where he missed 21 shots. LeBron has missed 23 shots in a game. Michael Jordan has missed 27 shots in a single game. Kobe crossed the 30 threshold once in his entire career. And Wilt Chamberlain tops every all-time great with a whopping 37 missed shots in one game. And then there's Joe Fulks, who in
42, das sind potenziell, wenn der nur Zweier waren, keine Dreierlinie, 84 Punkte, die er nicht gemacht hat. Russell wird den Brain fühlig.
Missed 42 shots in a single NBA game. LeBron, Steph, and Durant have all never even attempted 42 shots in a single game in their entire careers. But Joe was built different. 99 problems, and a field goal percentage ain't one. Because Joe also holds the 2nd, 5th, 6th, and 10th spots for the most missed shots in a single NBA game. And this is just one of many insane NBA facts you have to see to believe.
73 Jahre ist das auch schon her, ne?
Really excited to announce the sponsor of today's video. 2002, Gatorade shot a commercial that featured a 39-year-old Michael Jordan going one-on-one with a younger version of himself. This commercial was first aired during Super Bowl 36 in front of millions of viewers and to this day remains one of the most iconic sports commercials of all time. But what people didn't realize at the time was that the athlete that played the young version of MJ was actually a 22-year-old Jamal Crawford.
Was?
Entire articles being written about the commercial itself, Crawford was never truly credited for his role.
Was? Das wild, Bruder. Ich hab gedacht, es ist irgendein No-Name, den man nicht kennt, aber einfach Jamal Crawford, Digga. Du warst noch 25.
But in a recent interview on the Dan Patrick Show, Jamal talked about his role on set.
Were you in the Gatorade commercial with Jordan?
I was.
You played the... How old were you? You played the younger Jordan, the Bulls version of Jordan, and he's with the Wizards?
Absolutely. I was 22, I believe, and I was the younger version. And I'm like, okay, what's the lines? He's like, no lines. Let's just talk. Play one-on-one. I'm like, there's no lines? Like, so I start reaching for the ball. He's like, you reach, I teach. Right? And he's kind of, I'm going off of his flow. I'm like, okay, am I playing? I'm trying to play like me. I'm trying to play, just play.
After taking an extended hiatus from the game, Magic Johnson returned to the NBA in the 1995-1996 season to play for the Lakers one last time. His return didn't last long, and he retired for good in June of 1996. You want to know what else happened in June of 1996? The Lakers acquired some 17-year-old kid named Kobe Bryant and signed superstar Shaquille O'Neal, which means NBA fans were one season away from seeing a trio of Magic, Shaq, and Kobe all on the same team. A decision that would have changed the entire timeline of the NBA. Now, for younger NBA fans,
Bruder, stell dir das mal vor. Kobe, Magic und Shaq in einem Team, Bruder. Das haben viele Leute als ihre Top 5 ever, Digga.
it feels like LeBron has been around since pretty much the dawn of time. In fact, for a lot of fans of the NBA, they've never seen a league without LeBron James. And that's because LeBron has been in the NBA for longer than he hasn't been in the NBA. I know, that sounds a bit weird, so let me explain. LeBron was 18 years and 303 days old when he was drafted into the NBA. And as of today, LeBron has been in the NBA for 19 years.
Das kannst du dir nicht vorstellen. Ich glaube, es ist bestimmt noch der einzige Mensch, der das jemals erreicht hat, Digga. Er ist einfach länger in der NBA, als er nicht in der NBA war, Bruder.
38 days. LeBron has been in the NBA for the majority of his life. And the majority of most of our lives. But he still has a few years to go before he reaches the ultimate NBA sage status that Vince Carter obtained a few seasons ago. By the time Vince retired, the span of his NBA career made up an absurd 30% of all seasons in NBA history. The man was a part of nearly a third of the NBA's entire existence. And throughout his career, he faced thousands of players, including not one, not two, not three, or four, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but 12 father-son duos in the NBA. Yes, you heard that correctly. Vince Carter was in the NBA for so long that he played the father and the son of 12.
Also finde ich ja ganz hart, ne, wie Tim Hardaway und Tim Hardaway Jr. einfach fast gleich aussehen, ne? Real Talk. Wild, Alter. Absolut wild.
Different NBA families. Now, if you had to guess which player has the highest offensive rating in NBA history, who would you guess? Jordan, LeBron, Steph, maybe Shaq or Kareem, maybe even throw in a wildcard guess like Jokic or Giannis? Well, it really doesn't matter, because I can guarantee with 100% certainty your guess is wrong. No offense, it's just that the current record holder is literally the last guy you would expect.
Was hat er gesagt? Wer?
Jordan, LeBron.
Welcher Rekord? Ich hab gemutet, ne?
In NBA history. Now, if you had to guess which player has the highest offensive rating in NBA history.
Oh, highest offensive rating ever. Da hätte ich ganz ehrlich Kobe oder James Harden gesagt. Kareem meinst du?
Who would you guess? Jordan, LeBron, like Jokic? With 100% certainty, your guess is wrong. No offense, it's just that the current record holder is literally the last guy you would expect. Because the all-time leader for offensive rating is Rudy Gobert.
Was?
Rudy Gobert. For perspective, LeBron is 43rd all-time at 116. Steph, Durant, and MJ are all very close with career offensive ratings of about 117. And Rudy Gobert, the offensive juggernaut, tops every player in NBA history with an offensive rating of 127.4. Some advanced stats are really good. Not quite sure if this is one of them. Now, a better advanced stat is game score. It's by no means some perfect stat that'll tell you everything you need to know, but it does do a solid job at summarizing the efficiency and production of a single player on a game-to-game basis. From this stat, we can find out what is generally considered a good game and what is considered a bad game from a statistical standpoint. And according to this stat, anything less than a game score of 10 is a relatively bad game for a good player. And if we use this information as the standard metric, then the NBA record for the longest streak of games without a single bad game was set by Michael Jordan from December of 1987 to...
Ja, ich schwöre, einfach alle außer Rudy Gobert, Bruder. Ich hätte wirklich alle genommen außer Rudy Gobert. Wie kommt das zustande? Das hätte ich auch mal gerne gewusst.
February of 1990. That's a streak of 183 games in a row without a single bad game. That's nearly 2.5 seasons straight of good basketball without a single bad game along the way. The next closest good game streak was set by Shaq from November of 1996 to April of 1999, a span of 152 games. LeBron had a streak of 132 games. Karl Malone had 2 streaks that lasted over 100.
Und jetzt guck mal ganz unten bei der Liste, Digga, einfach dreimal nochmal Michael Jordan dabei, Digga, und einmal nochmal Shaq.
Games. And to be honest, I don't see this record getting broken anytime soon, since the longest active streaks of good games in the NBA come from Nikola Jokic with 98 games, Joel Embiid with 68 games, and Giannis Antetokounmpo with 44 games. But there's a current streak of games by an active NBA player that has set an NBA record that will never, ever be broken.
Jetzt bin ich ja mal gespannt.
More unattainable than Wilt's 100-point single-game record or Stockton's career assist record is LeBron's streak of regular season games with double-digit scoring. Now, some of you are...
Weißt du, was das Ding bei diesem Rekord ist, Digga? Den Rekord hat vorher Michael Jordan gehalten. Habe ich auch mal ein Video drüber gesehen, von Mike Kosemba. Und sein Streak hat erst aufgehört, als er dann wirklich endlich bei den Wizards war, Digga. Und ich glaube, bei den Wizards war es auch seine ersten Spiele, wo er weniger als 10 Punkte gescored hat. Also, den Rekord hat LeBron auf jeden Fall gehandelt. Auf jeden Fall.
We're probably familiar with the streak, but to understand the sheer insanity of this record, we need to take a deeper look into the numbers. Right now, LeBron's active streak of games scoring at least double-digit points is 1,096 games.
Digga.
The last time LeBron failed to score at least 10 points in a regular season game was all the way back on January 6th, 2007.
Rookie
That's
season.
15 years ago. To put this absurd streak into perspective, there are only six active NBA players who have played at least 1,096 games in their entire NBA career. But to really grasp the magnitude of this streak, here's a chart of the longest double-digit scoring streaks in NBA history. Just making it into the triple digits is an accomplishment reserved for only the best players of all time. Stephen Curry's longest streak of 97 games doesn't even make it on this list. Giannis had a streak of 116 games, Dirk had a streak of 190, Shaq had a streak of
Russell Westbrook, schlechteste Game hintereinander, ja, wahrscheinlich hat der da auf jeden Fall auch lange Vorsprung, Bruder.
245 games, Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant, two of the most gifted scorers of all time, had streaks of 220 and 211 games. But to crack the top 10, we have to go all the way past 400 games. James Harden had a streak of 450 games, Kevin Durant had a streak of 562, Karl Malone had a streak of 575 games, and with the top 3 streaks of all time are Kareem with 787, Michael Jordan with 866, and LeBron James with 1,096. The gap between LeBron and everyone else, a massive void. But what if we only include active
Ja, aber guck mal, hab ich doch gesagt, Michael Jordan war der letzte.
double-digit scoring games on this chart? Well, then it would look like this. The next closest streak held by Luka Doncic with 106
Aktive Spieler.
like this. Active streaks of else, a massive void. But what if we only include active streaks of double-digit scoring games on this chart?
Aktive Streaks, weil seine ist ja auch noch aktiv, ne?
Like this. The next closest streak held by Luka Doncic with 167 games. Luka would have to score double-digit points in every game while playing at least 70 games a season until the 2035 NBA season to even come within reaching distance of this streak. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an unbreakable record. And an NBA fact you had to see to believe.
Oder ganz ehrlich, kann ich mir nur vorstellen, dass wir dann irgendjemanden mal haben, Bruder, aber der wird dann auch ein sehr, sehr großer Basketballspieler sein, der einfach noch more durable als LeBron James ist, obwohl es das eigentlich fast gar nicht geht, Digga. Fast seine 20. Season, er ist immer noch auf Top-Niveau, ne? Aber irgendwann gibt es vielleicht mal einen Typen, Bruder, der seit Anfang an 100% gibt, Digga, und bis, keine Ahnung, bis Jahr 25 einfach durchzieht, Digga. Bis 45, Digga, und einfach, ja, Streak Air. Und dann wäre es vielleicht möglich, dass einer LeBrons Rekord hier knackt. Giannis ohne Basketball würde er bei McDonald's arbeiten. Das würden, glaube ich, viele von den Leuten.
Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
Wie kommst du zu der Conclusion, Digga? Bruder, sehr, sehr wildes Video. Sehr, sehr nices Video, ohne Spaß. Jxmy Highroller, wie gesagt, wer den selber noch nicht kennt, unbedingt ein Abo da lassen. Sehr, sehr guter Mensch. Das ist unmöglich. Ja, wer weiß. Das Ding ist, ich wollte fast schon sagen, Luka Doncic wird vielleicht den Rekord brechen. Das Problem bei Luka aber ist, dass der nicht so durable ist, Bruder. Ich kann mir gut vorstellen, dass er sich nochmal irgendwie verletzen wird. Dass es da dann Probleme gibt, weißt du, ich meine. Ja. Und wirklich sehr, sehr brutales Video, Bruder. Der Rekord mit Rudy Gobert, der hat mich komplett hops genommen, Bruder. Dass Rudy Gobert einfach der Spieler ist mit dem besten Offensive Rating ever das hat mich aus dem Leben rausgeshootet einfach, Bruder. Einfach absolut wild, Digga. So, das waren 10 insane facts about the NBA that may just blow your mind. He blowed my mind, definitiv, Bruder. Perfect was over, will never be broken. Ist so, Bruder.